you about this through late last week, that there would likely be another Clipper system that rolled in. And sure enough, timing right now looks to be Wednesday. And then you get more lake effect snow by Thursday. And that could have a bit more of a far-reaching impact than, say, just what we've seen across parts of Lake, northern Geauga, even Ashtabula counties. So please keep that in mind. We do have winter storm watches that are in effect for Cuyahoga, Lake Geauga, as well as Ashtabula. This will start at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, go until 4 a.m. on Friday for that potential of heavy lake effect snow, leading to some travel impacts across parts of our area. But we're also going to have some gusty winds, upwards of 45 miles per hour. That could cause some of those whiteout conditions, could also cause some power outages. So those are some of the things that we're going to be monitoring here as we go through the rest of the work week. I do want to take you, this is a live look outside from our ODOT camera at 90 and Dayton Road, and you can tell that as these cars continue to travel off towards the east, you're really starting to enter into an area where lake effect is becoming a bit more apparent. It has really over the last couple of hours, but you can see that where you have those really dark blue shades of color, that indicates that very intense snowfall rate. And so that's going to change your travel conditions quite drastically depending on where you're traveling today. So State Route 2 up towards US 20, they're closer to the lakeshore. Conditions also dealing with some of that reduction in visibility, some snow accumulation. You can see that across parts of Lake County, even northern Geauga County there in the Thompson area. You get a little bit of a break, and then you go out towards Ashtabula County, and all of a sudden you're running into another band just before you enter into Pennsylvania. So take it slow. If this is where your travel plans will be, we will walk you through what you can expect for this lake effect ending. Plus
alert weather to talk about, first alert weather days.
Yeah,
just a lot of first alerts.
It is, and this is just kind of unfortunately the result of what's been such an active pattern, and on top of which you're still early enough in the season that the lake hasn't frozen over. So that's what's kept the prolonged alert days in place. It's why we're still seeing some impacts even today of lake effect snow, but we get one more round, I think, before it's all said and done and temperatures finally start to improve by the time we get into this weekend. So what we're alerting you to is Wednesday night into Thursday. There's a couple of different pieces with this. The first will be the snow. What's happening is you're getting a little bit of a clipper system that's coming through. So yes, there's a potential more widespread opportunity for some light snow as we go through your Wednesday night, but then lake effect starts to take over, and that's where you could be talking about some of those higher totals, kind of like what we've seen, where if you get a decent band of lake effect snow to set up, all of a sudden you start piling in a lot more of that snowfall in just one specific area. On top of which, you're going to have wind at times that could gust upwards of 45 miles per hour. So that's going to pick up a lot of this snow that's flying through the air, and it's going to make more of those whiteout conditions for us. So that's going to cause some travel impacts, and we could also be talking about the potential for power outages as well. Just when you're talking wind of that magnitude, it is always possible across Northeast Ohio. So kind of leading up to this, we have winter storm watches in effect right now for Cuyahoga, Lake Geauga, as well as Ashtabula counties, but these will likely be updated as we kind of get a little bit closer to this system's arrival and we work out some of the finer tuned details as to more specific type of warnings that will likely, or advisories that may be issued. This is that clipper system. So you can see it up towards Winnipeg. We call these Alberta clippers because they're being sourced in from the Alberta area, and they just dip in enough to bring some of those impacts to parts of the Great Lakes region. And certainly that's what we're going to be tracking by the time we get into the later half of tomorrow. Today, it's more so the lake effect. We've seen this time and time again the last several days. Parts of Ashtabula, Lake, northern Geauga counties right now really seeing some of the biggest impacts. And you can tell from our camera out towards the Madison area, that snow is coming down at a very heavy clip. So if you have to travel through parts of Lake and Ashtabula County, just get ready for that through the rest of the day today. I do think the more we get into, say, late afternoon, early evening, winds are finally starting to change direction, and that's going to steer that band back out over the lake. So we should stay quiet by the time we get into tonight. Finally, for at least a little bit of a period. By the time we wake up early tomorrow morning, clouds will start to roll in, but it is a dry start to the day. Then we get through the afternoon, that clipper system starting to inch closer to us, so it will likely give us at least a few scattered snow showers. That's the system snow, and then we get to talk about the lake effect that starts to take over by the time we get through your Thursday, which is why that alert day is in effect, and a few flurries still possible to wrap up the work week. We'll talk more about the lake effect aspect of this storm system coming up in the next half hour.